You're listening to Titans of the Trades. I'm your host, Ryan England, author of Hire Better People Faster and creator of the CoreFit hiring system, a proven process to help growing companies attract and retain only the best. I'm on a mission to revolutionize the perception of the trades and elevate it to new heights. After growing up in a blue-collar family, my passion for making the trades cool again runs deep. If you're a titan in the industry and want to be on my show, stick around until the end and I'll reveal how you can be my next guest. Welcome back. I'm your host, Ryan England. And today's guest is someone who I've known for, I think he just told me, 6 years. And I got to learn about him and I got to see him grow inside the industry of recruiting. So even though his business is really about helping you get more from your ads, helping you get more quality applications for less, he has a wealth of knowledge when it comes to recruiting everybody from entry level, even to skilled workers. He used to be working for ZipRecruiter and learned that there was so much more opportunity out there than to just give ad money to one job board or two job boards. There was a world out there that he could open up for you. I want to welcome to today's show Cameron Sides. He's the VP of Sales at Acquire ROI, and we're going to learn about something new today that is just, it's a game changer in the industry. Cameron, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you very much for the introduction, Ryan. And yeah, it's been pretty crazy. We've known each other for 6 years. So you got to see me, been in the job advertising industry for 7 years, and you got to see me, kind of go from that old cold calling rep, trying to find new ad agencies to help with Zip, and that's where I'm at today. So thank you very much for having me, and look forward to kind of expanding on what we do and what opportunities lie out there for small businesses on those hourly to skilled workers.
Yeah, there's a ton out there that they can do, and I think that there's the 800-pound gorilla in the marketplace that basically just says, give them more money, give them more money, give them more money, you'll get results. And you and I mean, we connect on this. We don't agree with that at all. So tell me, what's that myth? What's that thing that we believe when it comes to recruiting that we need to stop, or we need to change the way we think about it?
Yeah, I think you nailed it on the head. There's this 800-pound gorilla out there that just tells you like, oh, if you have needs, all right, well, those needs will require more dollars spent with one platform. And, sometimes that might be true, but most of the time what we're finding within our data that it's not. Rather, it makes more sense to ensure that you have a balanced budget per job to last through the entire month, not trying to just force in as many people as possible into your pipeline, and then you have 200-300 applicants to try to work through over the next 2 days.
I think it's safe to say that most of us don't need more applicants to say no to.
Yeah, you don't. You need to have qualified people that you are interested in having to work with you. You're not just going through a list of, like you said, 200 people, and you're just constantly saying, no, not this one, not this one. And then before you know it, the day is over and no interview schedule. Yeah.
Now, over at Core Matters, we spend a lot of time and effort on getting the right job ad, making sure that it's optimized for the boards, it's optimized for what the job seeker is looking for. No clever titles, no crazy anything. We spend a lot of time using data to optimize the ads. Now, you, on the other hand, use data to optimize the ad spend and making sure that we're not just throwing good money at bad applications anymore. Tell me a little bit about your world, what you do at Acquire ROI, and how this is a game changer, especially in the SMB space.
Yeah, so Acquire ROI, we're a programmatic job advertising solution. And really within the world of programmatic, what that really means is that there are a bunch of algorithms, and an algorithm is a if-then statement. So if you're familiar with the Excel world, if this value is seen, then do this action. So what we could take that as a look of saying, if you have a budget cap of $75 on the job, the moment it hits $75 across a various array of different job sites, then turn the job off. The reason for that is to ensure that you're getting your ad exposure out to multiple destinations, not just one specific site. And then you're not going to have losing control over your budget, going across all these different sites, juggling them between ZipRecruiter, Indeed, LinkedIn, you name the job site, and before you know it, you've actually spent too much. So it's kind of where our process comes into play, is where it can monitor the data and automate the ad buying decisions for you, ensuring that your job ads are in front of the right person at the right time.
I love that. Right people at the right time is so important when it comes to anything in marketing, which you and I both agree, recruiting is marketing and ad spends is a marketing activity. So, but you said something that I want to touch on and make sure everybody got it, which was when you get into the programmatic world and you start letting someone like Acquire ROI control your ad spend, especially for these skilled labor jobs, you aren't just sending the ads to Indeed. You're not just sending them to ZipRecruiter. I'm no longer just beholden to one. I've now got Acquire ROI making the decision about who's the best. And I imagine there's a whole bunch of places that ad spend can go. Is that right?
Yes. So there's thousands of job sites throughout the country, several that are niche specific for, just let's just say manufacturing workers. Well, that's where our technology comes into play, understanding data that's happened with previous employers to see what job sites actually perform the best for a specific type of job.
Wow. Okay. So
really,
so it may not just be, let's put all our eggs in one basket, because there might be these little tiny job boards that we've never heard of that maybe they're really good at getting people to apply through them. They're good at getting in front of the job seekers, but maybe employers are like, I didn't even know that existed. I know there's a few big ones out there. I would say there's probably 10 or 12 big players, but as you pointed out just now, there's thousands of other job boards that are very niche, very specific. And so Acquire ROI can help you really promote in those spaces too. Is that right?
Yes, it is. And kind of want to touch back on one thing you said there, that we rely on something else, and that's to have good job ad content. And that does make a very distinct difference between your job ad being posted in one spot at the same time. You have to have good content in those ads for this to be a successful campaign.
Yeah, and that's a whole nother topic, is how to do good job ads. I would say that the thing we've learned is stop being clever. Right? Clever does not win in this space. Clarity wins in this place. But and the thing too about the programmatic is I get a lot of people. In fact, I was just on a call right before this, and the client was saying, "Hey, should we just spend more money on ads? Should we just spend more money on ads?" And I'm like, you just keep chasing the same thing. And so to your point about content, if you're already getting a lot of not good applicants and you're already saying no to a lot, it might be worth looking at the job ad before you jump into like programmatic, because you're just going to be spending more money on the same thing. Is that fair?
Yes, it is. Yes. And that's one thing that we always recommend. We want to understand all the data that you have previously, understand what worked, what didn't. So if we can pinpoint any anomalies, and I would say the best thing for anyone to do is with job titles, keep it simple. Don't go for the crazy job title where it's coffee taster extraordinaire. Definitely not something that you want to have, because the data just does not point to that being a successful job ad.
Yeah, there's so many people get so clever because they think it's a way to differentiate. They get clever and they're like, oh, we're different, and this is a way to say we're different and we're fun and look at these cool titles. And yeah, but when someone's looking to be an electrician, they want to type in electrician. They want to see an ad for electrician. They're not looking for some crazy thing. One where I see people get really clever is in call centers and in customer service and all that. They get crazy wild with these job titles. And if you're not getting results now, programmatic's not going to solve the problem for you. It really is a 1-2 punch. You've got to work on the quality, but then you're going to work on making sure that you drive that cost of acquisition down. And that's really what you're looking for, is how do you lower that cost to hire through just smarter advertising.
Correct. If all based on data. So that's another piece on the programmatic side of things, is that all the buying decisions that are automated are based on data, not hunches. So we're not going to do this deal of, I feel like Indeed works well, so we're going to put all of our eggs in that basket. Best way to view programmatic is like a mutual fund. We've got access to thousands of different job sites, and it's pinpointing which one's going to yield you the highest return on investment.
And what I like really about you too is you've got experience in the blue collar space. You have personal experience having managed giant enterprise level accounts at Zip, but now you bring all that experience over to Acquire ROI, and you're helping make the algorithms better and making that programmatic better at Acquire ROI because of your real world experience. Tell me, what are some of the things that you've seen in the real world where they just get it wrong? The businesses just get it wrong, and some things besides the job ad that they could do better to really help them in this space with getting higher quality people?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing is ensure that you have a proper budget to job allocation or ratio. So there's going to be times where there's be some specific sites that will tell you keep throwing more money at it and we'll get you what you need. And really what we find is that you need to figure out what your CPA is. What is your average cost per apply? So if you know on average for the past 30 days, I've been getting $5 an ad. What you want to do then is if you need that job ad to run for 30 days and you know that you need at least, let's just say 10 apps, your budget should only be $50. And that's kind of where this data comes into play, is to ensure that you don't overspend on one job. Otherwise, you could turn around and find out you just spent $1,000 to make one hire.
I can see people right now, they're driving their car, they're listening to this, and they're like, what the hell, $50? Like, what? Because every time Indeed calls me, they're like, can you put another zero on it? Can you put another zero on it? Like, that's the way Indeed does it. I mean, we've seen some people that they're spending $10,000 a month on Indeed ads, and Indeed reps like, let's put some more in it. Like, let's let it ride and let it go more. And they're still not getting the results. How much of their process? So we're talking programmatic, we're talking advertising, we're talking ad spend. How much of the company's process when it comes to responding back to the applicant, how much of the process do you find impacts their ability to lower their cost per acquisition?
It impacts it drastically. So we can look at one of our companies that we help manage their ad spend, and they're in trucking. So they focus on daily truck drivers they're at home daily truck drivers. So these are people that are going to be local to your area. And what we've found with them is that before we were working with them and their team, they had an average response time of 24 hours. It also used to take them 120 apps to make one hire. So when we're looking, anywhere from $10 an applicant up to $20, that adds up very fast.
Yeah.
We're able to help introduce them to a company where they help get their process solidified to where they were contacting people within the first 30 minutes. Having a recruiter or someone in point of contact with that applicant can reduce your cost per hire down drastically, where it took them from 120 applicants down to 42 applicants.
Whoa.
Over 2 weeks.
So it's not just having better data, it's not just having programmatic or a computer helping you make decisions, but you actually have to improve your process as well. I mean, you reduce their ad spend by 2/3.
We were actually able to help them expand. For the first time, they were stuck in these small towns of doing food service delivery, taking groceries from the warehouse out to the actual grocery store. To know they can expand out into multiple markets, because they just kept on running into the same issue. They did not have the workforce needed to win those new contracts.
Wow, I love that. If you want something different, it's time to do something different. And this was not really just, hire Acquire ROI, but it was hire someone like Cameron, who's got the real world experience and going, there's so much more than just the data. And that's what I love about you and your team, is that you aren't just a bunch of data geeks or a bunch of developers creating some platform, which we see a lot in the industry, right? We see a bunch of coders going, hey, we can do this better, but they don't have that real world experience that you bring to the Acquire ROI team that says, hey, maybe there is a way to not only lower your ad spend by reducing quality, but going from 24 hours to 30 minutes for an initial contact. And we talk about that all the time at Core Matters. Job seekers don't have the luxury of waiting. It's not like they can call up every creditor they have and they're like, hey, I'm looking for a new job. Hang tight. Like, they got to move quickly. So the faster we move, and the faster your process is built and more streamlined, the more likely it is that not only are you going to reduce your acquisition costs, but you're also going to be able to to maybe even expand your business and do something you've always dreamt of doing.
Exactly. Yeah. And touching base on one of the other things is the average job seeker, when they're applying to jobs, overwhelming majority on their mobile phone. So ensure that you have a good apply process is one of the first steps. And then the second piece is you have to know that they're applying to not just your job. They will, in their average session, apply to 5 other companies.
Yeah.
While they're applying to your job.
Well, and the job boards have made it really simple. I mean, I think Indeed's mission, or I'm going to get this wrong, but it's something along the lines helping people find good jobs. Now, if you're an employer, notice that Indeed's mission is not to help you. It's to help the job seeker. So everything Indeed does is built around this idea of how can we help job seekers apply for more jobs more quickly so that they have a better chance of finding the job they want. So they do things like Mass Apply or Indeed Apply or Easy Apply. I mean, this is what the job boards are doing to help the job seekers. But what's the problem with Easy Apply? It makes it harder for us as employers because it's the same job application over and over and over and over again, and it's at scale. So, I mean, I'm sure you see it all the time. We see people where they'll get a new application come in and that same person will apply for all 6 jobs they have open.
Yeah.
It makes it easy to do that. So
yeah,
what are some other things that employers can do to make this process more effective? Whether that means increasing quality, lowering their acquisition costs, or maybe even just giving them an opportunity to achieve their goals, like market expansion, like you had mentioned.
So much of it, I would say it really boils down to the process that they want to enact. So that first step is good, clear content within the job ad. Second process is, okay, you've got your content out online, but what does the back end process look like? Do you have a team ready to handle all the applicants that you might have coming in? Do you have a clear process that's going to take that applicant that might be qualified into a hiring status? And how do we get there? And what do those steps actually look like? A lot of times people can get excited about one applicant, hire them, and then find out in 3 weeks that was not a good fit for the company, and then they have to let them go. So having clearly defined practices from the moment that the job ad is created all the way to the hire point and then beyond with training, all points must be detailed.
And that's a big thing we do with the corporate hiring system is make sure that they've got a really solid interview process, because to your point, Indeed makes it the job boards make it really easy to apply. And
they make it very easy.
And I tell people, stop asking for resumes because there's only 3 types of resumes out there. I added a third one in the last year. There used to only be 2 types. Those written by professional resume writers, which you know are garbage and inflated and embellished. Those written by people that don't know how to write resumes, which is the majority of people. They don't know how to write it. And then there's a new category called those written by AI.
Yeah.
So if you don't believe me, I got a clip on Indeed or on LinkedIn where I went to Amazon and I found this job for some, it was a 6-figure job. And I was like, ooh, Chat GPT, create a resume for me that'll help me guarantee an interview for this job. And it went through it, and a couple prompts later, and it had data, it had metrics, it had all the growth that I helped my current employers happen. I mean, it was everything. I literally just copy and paste and submit it to Amazon. And I would have definitely made it through any AI, ATS, anything else that they were using to get that job. So resumes are bogus. That's my advice to people right now that are hanging on to them. But I love that having a more of a holistic process. It's not just advertising. It's not just the job boards. It's not just the speed to contact, but it's having that quality process to make sure that everybody is moving forward at the right speed so that you're not turning people over, because retention is a real problem in this country, especially. Companies really struggle to hold on to people.
Especially the good ones.
Yeah, because they have options, right? The good people have options. And if you're not a good employer, if you're not treating them well or following through on your promises, they're going to look elsewhere. And I think that's what I see a lot, is make sure that you follow through on what you promised.
Yeah, there's a line that my dad always taught me. It was, say what you do, but more importantly, do what you say.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with that 100%. Well, Cameron, this is amazing. And For those of you who don't know, not only do I adore Cameron and think he is an amazing professional in this industry and helping people with really lowering that cost per acquisition, but what you're doing at Acquire ROI and the changes that I've just seen you make there since you've been there is incredible. And you get that there's more to a process than just ad spend. Like that's the problem when your lead rep calls you, it's all about ad spend. That's it, you know? And so there's so much more to it, and you get that. You've got an offer for our listeners, and I want you to share that with them. And then also you have, and I'm sure people are like, okay, I want to know more about this. I'm not ready to take you up on the offer, Cameron, but how do I get a hold of you? How do I learn more about Acquire ROI, what you guys are doing in the industry? Because you guys are definitely changing the industry out there, and you're definitely game changers. And I think a lot of what you're doing is really at the forefront of what the industry needs compared to what a lot of the others are doing out there. So tell me, how do they get the offer and how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, so our offer right now is going to be for any new employer that is wanting to utilize our services. And through this podcast, we're offering on their first campaign a 50% ad match. So if you're used to spending, let's just say, $1,000 on Indeed, we'll match you that $500 to show you what this is really all about and how we can increase your performance on your ad spend. To get in contact with us, you're just going to reach out to sales@acquireroi.com. So that's sales@acquireroi.com. Just make sure we spell the acquired piece right. And that's how they can get in contact. My team and I, we monitor that sales inbox. Happy to help address any questions or just help out in any way that we can.
And you guys are a small team too. Like you're not some big enterprise company where if I reach out to sales, I'm going to have a different person I'm talking to all the time. And you guys are really a small, intimate team, and you really take the approach of, hey, we're here to nurture people. So I just want to share that. It's not like you're talking to Indeed when you call Acquire ROI, right?
No, when you call Acquire ROI, you're going to talk to a person, and most likely it's going to be one of 4 people, myself or one of the other 3 sales reps. But then we also have our account management team. So you're not just thrown out to the wolves. Like we actually have someone here helping you out the entire time that you're running with us.
Yeah, you're not just going to be a number when you work with Cameron and his team. They're going to know you personally and be able to support you. Cameron, this was amazing. Thank you so much for being on the show today. I know that your background and experience in the blue collar space is going to help out a ton of our listeners. And I'm telling you right now, if you're listening to this and you're thinking, I am tired of giving more money to Indeed, you owe it to yourself, you owe it to your team, you owe it to your family so you can achieve some of those new goals, to reach out to Cameron and learn more about how he's helping really change the name of the game when it comes to advertising in the recruiting space. Thanks, Cameron.
Thank you, Ryan.
Ryan England here. Thank you so much for listening to Titans of the Trades. If you're a titan in the construction, manufacturing, or skilled trades industry and would like to be a guest on my show, please visit podcast.corematters.com. If you found value in this interview, would you share this episode on social media? Just do a quick screenshot on your phone and share it with a friend or post it on social. And if you know someone that would be a great guest, tag them on social media to let them know about the show and include the hashtag Titans of the Trades. I love seeing your posts and guest suggestions. We are regularly putting out new episodes and content. To make sure you don't miss any episodes, click the subscribe button. Your thumbs up, ratings, and reviews go a long way to help promote the show and get me one step closer to solving the labor crisis facing the industry. Want to know more about how we're doing that? Go to our website or follow me on LinkedIn. Thanks for listening.